What is going on in the market? Let's talk about the market conditions right now, what it's like to sell a house right now, what it's like to buy a house, what to expect. We will talk about all these things and my outlook of what's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year going forward. If you go to sell a house right now, what should you expect? Let's talk about that. Right now, home price, there's still a shortage of homes. Home prices are still up mostly. This is not exactly the same market it was a year and a half, 2 years ago. There are houses out there that are sitting with more days on market. You can get a house where you can get closing costs covered, get some concessions paid, get some repairs done. But still, in all the best neighborhoods, on the top houses, they're getting multiple offers. They're selling higher above asking price. There's a lot of that still going on. Home prices are still up. Um, Inventory is still down. We are in the Kansas City. Uh, the most recent numbers from the Kansas City regional area of realtors noted for the area that our month supply is at 1.4 months supply, which is the same it was a month prior, and actually a little lower than it was 2 months ago. When it was at. The national average, I think, is up in the mid twos. So um, our inventory is quite a bit lower than the national average right now. So, and a lot of those includes rural areas and across the country and stuff like that. So it's I think if you go to a lot of the metros, those numbers will be done in down in the metros. With all that being said, home prices are still up. You're still able to get top dollar right now. You're still able to sell and get some favorable conditions. It's still a seller's market. Um, that being said, if your house needs excessive repairs or in or there's it's overpriced or something along those lines, it may sit a little longer. So there's still a little bit of a strategy to selling. You can't just throw it out there, throw a number on it, and hope it sells. It's got to still be in the right price range. It's got to be have some be in livable condition, these sorts of things. But in general, home prices are still up. Still a great time to sell. I don't see that changing anytime soon. So if you're looking to buy a house, what does that mean? Well, let's talk about that. The Buying a house might be a little bit trickier. It is a seller's market, as I said. That being said, there are houses that are sitting on the market longer. You can find a house and get your closing costs covered. You can find a house and have a home inspection and be able to do all that fun stuff, so you know that you're getting a safe, good house. But if you go, if you go into the best neighborhood and you go try to pick the best house in that neighborhood, that's for sale, then you're likely to end up in a multiple offer situation, which means you gotta come in with your best offer. You got to offer above ask. In a lot of cases, it's well above ask. You got to waive the home inspection. Um, you have to offer above the appraised value. Offer what they call an appraisal waiver, offering cash above the appraised value. Hey, if it appraises $10,000 over the purchase price, I'll bring $10,000 to the closing table. So that's that is something that's going on. Um, but there are a lot of houses where you don't have to do that. If you're as long as you don't get hung up on the top house, we can find you a house that 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 doesn't have that scenario going on. With all that being said, what I always say is the best time to buy a house was yesterday. The second best time to buy a house is today. The reason I say that, home prices keep going up. So today you're going to pay more than you did yesterday. So yesterday was when you could have got the house the cheapest. Today you're going to pay a little bit more. Tomorrow that price can keep going up. So um, you're like, well, at some point what goes up is going to come down. Well, is that true? The Think about that for a second. Think about the house that your parents owned back when you were a kid. The price clearly has gone up on that, dude. And we're talking about they just keep going up. So home prices in general just keep going up, just like inflation. It just falls the same. So best time to buy was yesterday. So what's the outlook for the rest of the year? First and foremost, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can tell you with 100% certainty what's going to happen. All I can do is make some projections based off of some things that are happening currently in the market, kind of where I think it's headed. Here's a few things. I think home prices are going to just keep going up through the year. The with the 2 to 3, I think two banks in the United States that went under here recently, and the Fed went in and took them over. They did secure all everybody's deposits in those banks. So there was a bailout to help in those scenarios. But what else that has done is that has made the Fed a little bit gun shy about continuing to raise interest rates, because to some degree they're raising the interest rates is partially what happened, what caused those banks to go under, and so they don't want to continue to create more of a chain reaction that leads to more bank failures, which we're still unsure if that's going to happen or not. But so, with all that being said, with the Fed being gun shy about continuing to raise interest rates, that's probably going to be good for buyers, because it will probably lead to interest rates either staying flat at this point, and I think we're right now averaging anywhere between 5.5% to 6.5%, depending on what program you use or whatever. The or interest rates may even drop a little bit. Not unsure. Can't. I project they're going to stay flat. I don't really project they're going to drop, but I could be wrong. That's not something I'm willing to bank any money on. The another thing that I heard recently that I found is interesting is there's still currently in the United States a million active mortgage forbearances out there. I mean, it's basically meaning people who stop paying their mortgages. They set up a forbearance to where they agreed to pay that later. It's a very kind of a tricky little thing, and typically about 50% of those lead to foreclosure. So right now there's currently, as I said, I think somewhere in the ballpark of 1 million active forbearances currently in the United States. This is the number I heard recently, and so that stands to reason that we'll probably see somewhere around 500,000 foreclosures in the next year, so sometime. So I think that they're expecting those will probably start hitting in the next 8 to 12 months is what we're thinking. But with all that being said, an uptick of foreclosures would balance the market out a little bit, because that will add more houses to the market. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not a good thing that people get foreclosed on. That's a bad thing. So that's not something I ever hoped for. But the more houses to the market are good for buyers. So don't really expect. So if you want to get it down to one sentence, what's going to happen in the market in the next year? Can't say for sure. What I expect is interest rates are going to stay the same. Home prices are going to keep upticking a little bit. Buyers are still going to keep on dealing with some multiple offer situations, but with some options to make some more favorable offers on some less desirable houses. So, with all that being said, in conclusion, I appreciate you guys listening to my market update today. I hope you found this information to be helpful. Remember, great time to sell. Home prices have never been higher. The best time to buy was yesterday. Second best time to buy is today. If you want to set up a seller or buyer strategy, give me a call at 913-318-4427 or text me. Text me strategy session to 913-318-4427. Hope to hear from you soon. Eric Best, eXp Realty. Let's talk.